busy. I'm out in my backyard, and first I want to apologize for the traffic noise. The street I live on is getting busy. But what I want to talk about today is I am sick and tired of the bullshit narrative that I see on the mainstream media and activists, specifically black activists, on a regular basis now. There is no open season by police officers on unarmed black people, like we're being told. It's really easy to not be killed or injured by police officers. And I'm going to tell you how to achieve that if you ever find yourself having the attention of a police officer. First of all, don't violate laws. We have a system of laws that is, loosely speaking, designed to make sure that I don't violate your rights and you don't violate my rights, and for public safety. You could argue that we have too many laws, and I'd probably agree with you. I think we do, because we have legislators who like to call themselves lawmakers, and they think that's what they're supposed to do, is just make more laws. Well, every new law curbs our liberty to some degree. It curbs our freedom. But we have all of those laws in place, but if those laws are not enforceable, they're meaningless. And it becomes every person for themselves. We have to defend ourselves from people who would violate our rights. Say, break into your house in the middle of the night. If you don't have police officers to call to come and help, who are you going to call? Well, nobody. So those of you who are supporting this defund or abolish police movement, I don't think you've thought it through to what it would actually mean. Here's the first thing you have to understand. Police officers are human beings. They're people, just like you and me. They have lives, they have wives and husbands, they have children, and they want to go home at the end of their shifts. And that's part of the reason why they're outfitted with guns and tasers and sprays and clubs and everything else, because they put their lives on the line every single day, and they perform a very difficult job. And things can happen in split seconds where they could be dead. And they know this, and they train for this. You just have to understand, they are not the enemy. Police officers are not the enemy. They're our friends. So, and there's one other thing I want to say. All of you black activists and politicians that are saying only black people have to have this conversation with their children, yeah, bullshit. If you care about your children, you're going to have this conversation with your children. But I'm going to have this conversation with anybody who watches this video right now. If you're ever pulled over or stopped by a police officer, there's a few very simple things that you need to do to make sure you're not injured or killed. Number one, keep your hands in sight. Because if you're putting your hands in your pocket or random places in your car, the police officer, you have to understand, they don't know who the fuck you are, chances are. They don't know what you have with you, and if you don't keep your hands in sight, they're going to think you're reaching for a weapon. And you can find all kinds of video from dash cam and body cam footage where it just takes a second or two and somebody is shooting at a police officer or stabbing a police officer or other things. And again, they want to go home at night. So keep your hands in sight. Number 2, remain calm. Do not panic. They're not there because they just want to harass you. They're there because they think you've violated some law. And even if you think you're wrong, if you think they're wrong, remain calm. The time to address this is not on the street with a police officer. The time to address it is in the courts. And if the police officer is wrong, chances are you can sue and make a lot of money on it. That seems to be the American way these days. But remain calm, because if you remain calm, the cop is going to remain calm. The cop doesn't think you're going to do something crazy. Number 3, don't resist arrest. Don't fight them. Don't tense up if they're putting cuffs on you. Don't try to run. Don't try to get in your car and drive away at a dangerous speed, because when you do all of those things, you're not just putting your own life at risk, you're putting the lives of the officers at risk and the lives of everybody that's anywhere near what you're doing at risk. Because the cops have to maintain control of the situation once they address anybody. They have to, because of all the weaponry that they carry. They have to be in control. If you follow these simple steps, remain calm, keep your hands in plain sight, answer their questions, follow their commands, and allow yourself to be arrested peaceably, you're going to be fine. And this is true regardless of the color of your skin, regardless of your economic status, regardless of anything else. This is true. And if you go on YouTube, you can find plenty of evidence to support exactly what I'm telling you right now. So please, realize that officers are human beings too, and they want to go home at the end of their shifts safe, in one piece, not injured. They don't want to hurt you. They join the police force. Granted, there are some shady police officers out there, but they're very few and far between. But most of them join the force because they want to keep their communities safe, which is what I want. I want a safe community to live in. And I'll add one more thing. There are places like Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, San Francisco, and Los Angeles, California, Detroit, Michigan, Chicago, Illinois, and other places that are run by Democrats, where the police officers do not have support from their political leadership, their city councils, their mayors, their governors. And that's why those cities look like shit. That's why their crime is extremely high. That's why there's homeless encampments, quote unquote, homeless encampments filled with drug addicts and sex traffickers and drug manufacturers that are destroying those cities. It's because the police are not allowed to do their jobs because their political leadership will not back them up to enforce the laws that are on the books. Again, it all comes down to enforcement. If we don't have enforcement, our laws are meaningless. I'd like you to consider this really carefully before you join a political movement to abolish police. Because if you want to abolish police, you want to abolish a civil society. Here's my thoughts on it. You have a great day.